What's up, guys, and welcome to my vlog.
Welcome to my vlog. Welcome to my vlog. Welcome to my vlog. It's PJ's vlog. Yeah.
Alright, guys, I just want to make a little video here real quick. One of my viewers, one of you guys, asked me a question, kind of requesting for me to talk about what I learned in my time at my job, my first job, which I quit early this week. So shout out to Astra Ray. Sorry, I don't know how to spell or say your last name, but thank you for the question. And I figured that's a great question, first of all, so I appreciate it. But I figured I should probably talk about it as soon as possible, especially before I start my new position, my new job, this upcoming Monday. All right, so without further ado, let's get into what I learned in the 6 weeks that I worked at my first job as a web developer. Here we go. Okay, so I just want to start off with a couple quick little things. So to kind of look in a more detailed view, I learned how to write code in ASP Classic, which is built off VB Script. It's a really old technology. Not a lot of people use it, and I mean, it was okay. I'm never gonna use it again probably, and yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about it. But I learned how to write ASP Classic. We also use a lot of jQuery, and so I got better jQuery, sort of, and I actually did get better at SQL and running SQL calls. I guess I don't really know how to say it, making database query calls. I don't know the wording, but yeah, I did that a good amount, so I got better at that. And then just CSS stuff and styling. I always benefit from more practice with that, so that was good. So next thing is I learned that MacBook Pros and MacBooks in general are really awesome. I don't have my own personal MacBook Pro, so when I started working at this company, they lent me one, a company laptop, and I was able to take it home and use it as well in my own time, and it was really nice. It's built really well. It just feels good to carry, because I carried it a lot around the office. I worked upstairs and I had to collaborate with people downstairs on it, so I carried it around the office a lot. And it just felt solid to hold. What else? But yeah, it did take me some time to learn how to use it. Just in general, I don't use Mac OS a lot or ever, so using the different keyboard layout was a learning curve. And then all the different gestures that are available on the MacBook, the touchpad and stuff. So the three finger swiping, for different desktop spaces or workspaces or whatever, and the pinch to zoom and the launcher stuff. That was a learning curve I didn't understand at first. I didn't understand when you maximize a window that it went into its own little workspace, and then you can swipe left or whatever, three finger swipe to see the rest of the windows that were open that weren't maximized or whatever. You probably understand what I'm talking about if you are familiar with the OS. If you're not, then I can't really explain it that well. But yeah, I thought it was once I got the hang of it, it was really useful to use that, especially if you're just working on your laptop without multiple different displays, and just being able to swipe through different workspaces really easily. It was cool. What else? I learned that the Magic Mouse was really awesome too. We use the Magic Mouse, and the mouse itself basically is a giant touchpad, so you can do all the same gestures. You can scroll without a little mouse wheel, clicky mouse wheel. That was nice. That was cool. And then I also had to use the chiclet keyboard, the Bluetooth keyboard, the wireless one. And that took some time. They wouldn't let me use a mechanical keyboard, so it took me some time to get used to the key travel and just the general feel of it. I got used to it eventually, but I still prefer mechanical keyboards. And same thing with the MacBook Pro keyboard. I had the 2018, so it was I think a lot of people have some issues with that keyboard. It's just a really different keyboard. It's very, very short travel keys, and it's hard to explain, but I don't know. After I got used to it, it was actually really cool. Alright, so actually the meat and potatoes of this video is more of bigger picture ideas of what I learned at my time at this company. So I want to talk about that now. So one of the things that I learned, or that was new to me as a junior developer, as somebody getting their first job in the web development industry, was just working with a much larger code base than I was accustomed to or that I was used to. So like prior to this company, the biggest files that I used were my own projects, my like bootcamp projects, and those projects involved maybe at most like 15 to 20 files that I made myself, not including all the other like pre-generated Rails files. And so that was kind of like the scale that I was used to, and like that was, yeah, sort of like the world I was used to of like, okay, if I need to look for something, I have to only look through this many files. Or like I only have to worry about this many files being affected maybe by this change or whatever. So when I started working at this company, that changed. Like there were so many include files, which is like just files being imported into another file, that kind of thing. And it really affected how I debugged. It like kind of improved my debugging skills a little bit, and just like it forced me to like learn how to follow the trail of code a lot better. So like one include file would be included in another file, which was then included in another file, which was then included like in another file. So it was like huge chain of like include files, and I couldn't just like, if I was looking for something wrong in the code, like say a function was broken, I couldn't just like control F in one file and find the function. Like I would have to dig through all these different files to find the function or whatever. That's just an example, but it really kind of expanded the scope of what I was dealing with, and it helped to give me a better sense of like what kind of code and like what scale of projects I will be dealing with in the future, as I continue my career. So that's number one, is learning to use and work with a much bigger code base. Okay, so number two is something I learned while I was using this code and like going through this code base and digging through all this code, is that I learned that I had actually developed a pretty decent foundation of like good code practices. I don't want to say I don't want to say I have good code practices, because I don't. Like I'm well aware, like I'm a junior level that just came out of boot camp, and I know that I have a lot of room to grow and improve. But at the same time, I did feel like I was equipped by Flatiron and like whatever other resources I've used to recognize that whatever code I was looking at and reading, there was a lot of room for improvement also. The code that we were using was not very dry, if you know what that means. If you don't know what dry means, it stands for do not repeat yourself, or don't repeat yourself, which basically means if something is not dry, it means like code is being repeated a lot, and it's just like, it's not efficient. It's like a waste of like lines of code, basically. So I was able to recognize when code was being repeated, and I was able to kind of read through something and not just like follow the logical flow of the code, but also like recognize like, oh, this can be improved this way, like, oh, this can be refactored in this way so that these two functions can be combined or whatever, to make it just one function, that sort of thing. And it was good practice, and it was a nice sense of affirmation that like I am learning and growing as a developer, and like I'm, I do have a long way to go, but I also have come a long way just in terms of like what I've learned from Flatiron School. So that was nice to experience, and it was cool also like to bring it up to my other team members, like potential things that I've, potential refactoring, code refactors or whatever that I thought of, and them kind of like we like bounce off ideas, that kind of thing. I got good praise, I guess, that what I was thinking was a good idea. So yeah. So next thing is something I alluded to just now a little bit, is I learned how to work with and be trained by like more experienced developers. So I worked in a team of 6 developers or so, like all around me, like we were all in the same area. There's other developers in the company too, and I also worked with our CTO pretty closely while I trained. But yeah, so I learned to work with them. I learned to pair program a little bit and just kind of follow how they wrote code and like follow their train of thought. And then I also learned and got more experience of like coding, live coding, pair programming, and talking out my thought process and that kind of thing. At the same time, I learned how to receive good feedback, how to receive like good criticism without getting my feelings hurt or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty used to that in general. I also learned like through working with these more experienced developers that I really need to, I don't want to say like be eager, but like I need to show them that I want to be pushed. I want to grow. That I'm receptive to their feedback, and that they can challenge me to do more than I'm doing right now. And yeah, so I think that was a good way for me to like get trained faster, to pick up more things, get more responsibilities, and just gain their trust more quickly as a junior developer. So I thought it was useful and something I'm going to hopefully continue to do in my next role as an apprentice developer next week. And then before I get to the last point, I guess just a little bit of background on my role. For those who don't know, I worked also in a multi-discipline cross-functional team of like that supported a product that we made. So I was like the developer for that team. So in those types of teams where like the company sells software and makes software, and they rely on the developer of the team to push the product forward and actually translate the changes into the actual product. In that kind of team, the developer is very cherished and very valuable. And my team definitely made me feel that way. And it's one of the hardest things of why it sucked to leave. I felt like I kind of left them in a really hard situation. But I had to do what I had to do. But yeah, they in that kind of team, it's super important to be able to communicate like technical concepts in a non-technical way so that the rest of the team can understand it and bounce off ideas and stuff like that. And at the same time, you need to be able to receive non-technical like feedback or non-technical like change requests or feature requests or whatever, and translate that into like a technical I don't know, concepts in your mind pretty quickly to say if it's like feasible or not. So I had a lot of good practice doing that, and just like getting into that mode of like being able to flip that switch from technical to not technical and breaking down things and like kind of translating concepts back and forth in like a fluid manner kind of thing. And I think that's really important. A lot of people say like a good developer or a great developer is one who can communicate effectively and communicate technical concepts effectively in a not technical way, or even a technical way, but like just break it down in a way that's easy to understand, digest. I think I got a good amount of practice doing that, just in the 6 weeks that I was there. So I thought it was useful, and I'm grateful for that experience that I had. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I gotta say. It's a quick run through of my time there. It's only been 6 weeks, like I said, but I feel like I did learn a good amount. And I try to make it more of like bigger picture ideas to kind of make it more applicable to other jobs, instead of just like this specific job. So I hope you guys found that useful. Thanks again for the question. And if you guys have any more questions, please ask them. Hope you guys are doing well, and I'm excited for this upcoming Monday. I might make a video this weekend, not sure. Probably not. Actually, now I think about it, it's going to be kind of a busy weekend. But hopefully next week I can update you guys on my new job. Super excited. So see you guys then. Take it easy, and bye.